Imagine the moment when your world falls apart and you have to face the most painful truth in front of millions of people. That's what happened to Bambi. Just when she thought she had seen it all, a leaked confession from Stevie J broke her completely. If you think that's the worst part, Lil Scrappy, her partner in this chaos, doesn't even bat an eyelid. He simply leaves without saying anything. What was so terrible about this confession that shattered their entire reality? What secrets did Stevie J reveal that drove Bambi to the brink? The backlash is real and is the kind of mess that no one could have predicted. Are we witnessing the impending collapse of a reality TV empire? Or is this the will always haunt them because the cameras captured every tear, every scream, and every broken moment? Isn't just a TV show, it's a real-life disaster playing out on our screens. Pay attention because what comes next will change everything. What do you think, Bambi? The face of beauty, power, and elegance in the world of hip-hop and love is completely destroyed right now, and the reason why Stevie J.S., the same Stevie J who has been involved in scandal after scandal, drama after drama, is back in the spotlight this time is because it's not just a trivial matter or a false rumor. Harder than anything Bambi has ever experienced before. Can you imagine the betrayal? Bambi, who has worked tirelessly to establish herself in the reality TV industry, lost everything, and she didn't lose it in a private moment. No, happened live on set in front of the cameras, shedding tears and wearing a mask of pain and disbelief. Let me tell you folks, this wasn't just a casual conversation. It was a life-altering one. What did Stevie J say? What could he possibly have revealed that caused Bambi, the woman who had spent years maintaining her image intact, to break down like this? Was it a confession about his previous relationships or something? Darker. This confession was a nuclear bomb aimed straight at Bambi's heart, and the worst part was that the audio was leaked, which was like a public execution of her reputation. Now, if you've followed Bambi for any length of time, you know that she's no stranger to drama. She's survived everything from turbulent relationship problems to public struggles with her own insecurities. But is on a whole new level. Stevie's confession wasn't about something trivial, nor was it about a misunderstanding or a gossip-filled rumor. Rather, it was about secrets, betrayals, and revelations that would have shattered anyone's world. Jay is no stranger to controversy. He's been around long enough to know how to stir things up and stay relevant in the world of reality TV. However, this time, he crossed a line that even his biggest fans couldn't defend. We've watched him flirt with scandal for years with shady relationships, messy breakups, and innumerable betrayals. But this confession wasn't just messy. It was a calculated move to destroy everything Bambi has been working for. What exactly did Stevie J expose? Well, you're going to want to hear this. Apparently, the confession was all about the truth about their friendships, their relationship, and the betrayals that Bambi never saw coming. When this information was revealed, it was like a lightning bolt to Bambi's chest. Her face was inexplicably hurt, and as the cameras rolled, her eyes were full of tears and her voice was shaking as she tried to keep it all together. However, how could anyone remain strong after having their entire world torn apart in a single devastating blow? It was an emotional disaster. And for Bambi, it wasn't just about the public humiliation. It was about feeling betrayed by someone she trusted. Trusted the man who had promised to support her. The one who was meant to be by her side just revealed everything. And it wasn't just Bambi who felt the pain. Scrappy, Bambi's partner, who had been by her side through thick and thin, couldn't handle it either. When the truth hit, Scrappy had had enough and did the unthinkable. He left the set without warning or hesitation, leaving Bambi there to try to put herself back together while the world watched her fall apart. Scrappy's response was quick, but the fans were shocked, perplexed, and furious because they had been cheering for this couple and believed they would survive the chaos of reality TV and come out on top. But now that everything is falling apart, Scrappy's abrupt departure left fans wondering, is this the end for them? Can Bambi bounce back from this shocking betrayal? Will Scrappy ever return, or is he too hurt to return? But it doesn't stop there. We know that Stevie J's confession had an immediate impact on Bambi and Scrappy's relationship. But what does it mean for their careers? What does this mean for their future on the show, with Bambi's breakdown captured for everyone to see? Will VH1 continue to air this kind of emotional chaos, or will they completely cut off their relationship storyline? What about Scrappy? Does he stay, or does he leave? Let's examine the true effects of all of this, since Bambi's tears and Scrappy's departure aren't the only aspects of this story. It's also about power dynamics and the kind of control Stevie J has over the narrative. In the world of reality TV, where everything revolves around who can spin the story the best, DJ's confession wasn't just about hurting Bambi emotionally. It was about regaining the power he once held. He knew exactly what he was doing when he leaked that audio. It wasn't just about causing chaos. It was about asserting dominance. But let's not forget the fans who have been following Bambi and Scrappy for years, through all of their highs and lows and everything in between. Left wondering, is this the start of the end for one of the most adored couples on reality TV? Or are they going to achieve the happy ending they've been hoping? For regardless of the reason, the truth is out and the fallout is just getting started. The speculation is intense. The questions keep coming in. And the most fascinating thing is that this whole situation could have been avoided if Stevie J had simply kept his mouth shut. Of course, he couldn't resist the temptation to expose everything. Was it for attention, retaliation, or just because Stevie J has never been able to stay out of the drama? We all know that Stevie J thrives in chaos, but will he regret causing such a massive wave of destruction? The drama is far from over as the world watches Bambi's emotional collapse after Stevie J's shocking audio leak. The ripple effect is nothing short of devastating. Now, you have to ask yourself where Bambi goes from here. Is there a way to rebuild her image after this public meltdown? And more importantly, what about Scrappy? Can he ever recover from this? Or has he seen too much to ever return to the relationship as it was? Struggles to keep his cool. Lil Scrappy's abrupt departure left the entire set in utter chaos, leaving both fans and cast members in shock. However, there is much more to this story than meets the eye. What actually transpired behind the scenes? And what could Stevie J possibly gain from this massive betrayal? Let's dissect the entire scandal and explore the true motivations behind Stevie J's bold move because, people, this isn't just a messy love triangle or petty celebrity drama. This is a calculated power play. Stevie J isn't just stirring the pot, he's throwing gasoline on the flames. The aftermath will be explosive. It all comes down to the traditional reality TV formula: create a spectacle. Get people talking and never let the spotlight fade. However, the twist is that isn't just about keeping Stevie J in the headlines. It's about him asserting dominance in a world where image is everything. In Stevie's world, where loyalty is as fleeting as a reality TV contract, this scandal is the ultimate weapon while Bambi and Scrappy were building their careers. The confession that would tear apart two of reality TV's most adored stars, Empire. Stevie J decided it was time for a reality check. He's always been the kind to stir things up, make waves, and shake things up. But this time, it's different and personal. You see, Stevie J's confession wasn't just a chance occurrence. Rather, it was a calculated move in a larger game, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Let's the specifics of what Stevie J's explosive confession revealed. The audio leak included shocking details about Bambi's personal life, her relationships with other cast members, and a darker side of reality TV that no one was prepared for. In the tape, Stevie not only reveals long-held secrets, but also betrays Bambi's trust in a way that's nearly impossible to recover from. And it's not just the secrets he revealed, it's the way he exposed them. Stevie J didn't just drop these truths like an afterthought. He made sure every detail was timed perfectly to ensure maximum impact. But here's the worst part. He made sure the world knew about Bambi's struggles behind the scenes. From her insecurities to the power struggles between her and the other women on the show. He painted a picture of Bambi that was far from flattering, portraying her as a woman who has been manipulated, controlled, and left to deal with the consequences of her decisions. In doing so, he did more than just create drama. He destroyed her carefully crafted image. It wasn't just about a breakdown on set or a public breakup. It was an outright assassination of her character, as if that wasn't bad enough. Bambi's on-camera breakdown was only the beginning of the real drama that unfolded as the cast and crew began to piece together what was happening behind the scenes. Lil Scrappy, who had been by Bambi's side for so long, suddenly found himself facing a new reality, and it wasn't one that was untrue. When Scrappy stormed off set, it was more than just an emotional outburst. It was a clear indication of the deep rift that had developed between him and the woman he loved. You could see it in his eyes as he walked away. He wasn't just walking out on Bambi. He was walking out on the entire situation. The trust had been lost, and the relationship, which had been built on years of ups and downs, appeared to be falling apart in front of his eyes. The man who had spent so many years defending his family for his career now found himself caught in the crossfire of a public spectacle he had not signed up for. And it wasn't just Bambi's tears that shook him. Everyone. But what's most striking about Scrappy's departure isn't just the emotional toll it's taken on him. It's also the possibility that this walkout could mean the end of their relationship. Bambi and Scrappy had been one of the most stable couples on the show, enduring scandals, rumors, and personal struggles. But now that this leaked audio has been made public, everything has completely changed, and fans who have watched them navigate their relationship for years are devastated. They've witnessed all the arguments, reconciliations, tears, and joy. But now they're left wondering if is the end, and whether Bambi and Scrappy will ever recover from this shocking betrayal, or the impact of this scandal is going far beyond Bambi and Scrappy. It's trembling the very foundation of love and hip-hop itself. Now, let's take a closer look at the ripple effect of Stevie J's leak, which we've already seen. It's obvious that the fallout from this scandal will be felt for a long time to come, and it's not just the fans who are talking behind closed doors. The rest of the cast is buzzing. There's tension in the air as the drama continues to unfold, and some are wondering how it will affect their own roles on the show. The public's perception of both Bambi and Scrappy has suffered, and things will only get worse before they get better. For Bambi, this leak has opened up a whole new world of scrutiny, with people questioning her choices, decisions, and even her relationships. Will she be able to recover from this, or has Stevie J's confession ruined her reputation for good? What about Lil Scrappy? Will he return to the show, or has this scandal been enough to keep him away from the industry forever? As the emotional fallout from the Stevie J leak continues to unfold, the entire cast of Love and Hip Hop is now forced to confront the chaos. Bambi's breakdown wasn't just an emotional episode. It was the final nail in the coffin for a relationship built on decades of ups and downs. Now, as Scrappy walks away from it all, everyone is wondering if it is the end for Bambi and Scrappy. The public breakdown was only the beginning of a much deeper crisis that's shaking the foundations of their relationship, careers, their relationship, and their futures as the cameras stop rolling. The set of Love and Hip Hop isn't just buzzing with rumors. It's turned into a battleground, and the futures of more than just Bambi and Scrappy are at stake. Stevie J's motivations are now being questioned, and people are wondering why he made this explosive confession. What he stands to gain by bringing two of the show's most devoted stars under fire, and more. Before we discuss the repercussions, let's hit the reactions. Fans are split, with some supporting Bambi, others supporting Scrappy, and a third group simply shocked by the public outcry. With all the drama, backstabbing, and tension, one has to wonder how VH1 handles this. What happens when one of their biggest stars, Bambi, is suddenly torn apart by the man who is supposed to be her co-star? How does the network handle a situation that has gone from entertainment to a full-blown public relations disaster? Many are calling for justice for Bambi, while others see as a wake-up call for reality TV stars who believe they are immune to the consequences of their actions. In fact, there are already rumors of significant restructuring. The production crew has had to deal with some serious ethical concerns about how this situation has been handled. And while the producers may have thought this season would be the most dramatic, no one expected the carnage they'd be left with. But what about Bambi's future? Isn't just about a meltdown on set. It's a potentially career-ending scandal. Bambi can't rebuild her image after being torn apart by Stevie J's bombshell. Where does she go from here? The stakes couldn't be higher for her, since reality TV is an industry that depends on reputation, and Bambi's has broken. But remember that this is the same Bambi who has been a part of love and hip-hop for years. She has developed a fan base, an image, and a brand that appeals to fans. However, even the strongest of brands can crumble under the weight of scandal, and Bambi is learning the hard way. What's worse is that Bambi's breakdown was captured on camera. It wasn't a private moment or a private confrontation between two people who might eventually come to terms with it. Rather, it was a full-blown spectacle that was broadcast for the world to see. Now that Stevie J's confession is public, there is no going back, and the image Bambi has spent years building could be erased in a matter of days. While everyone's attention has been on Bambi, Scrappy's emotional departure is equally important. He spent years establishing his reputation, and now his entire public persona has been completely upended. Scrappy's departure from the Ya set wasn't just a moment of frustration. It was a symbol of the breakdown of his relationship with Bambi and his personal conflict with the show. However, it goes beyond this one breakdown for Scrappy. It's about loyalty, and Stevie J's betrayal was evident when Scrappy left. It's a volatile situation that could completely change the course of the show. But here's the real twist. What if the entire situation, Bambi's breakdown, Scrappy's walkout, and Stevie J's betrayal, was all part of a larger game? Could someone be pulling the strings behind the scenes? This is the moment when other cast members are quietly eyeing the empty spaces left behind, wondering who will take advantage of the opportunity to shine and who will fail under the pressure of the fallout. There is a conspiracy at work that we haven't even discovered yet, and as we continue to investigate this scandal, it's evident that the repercussions are only getting started. Stevie J has definitely caused controversy, but the question still stands. Will he face criticism for his actions, or will he manage to turn this into yet another media triumph? And lastly, the crucial question, will Bambi and Scrappy ever be able to mend their broken relationship? Or is this the last chapter in their love and hip-hop saga? The stakes are higher than ever before. Will they leave the spotlight, or will they manage to rebuild this is far from a happy ending? It's a story that's still being written, and the pages are turning quickly. And there you have it, the shocking, heartbreaking, and completely jaw-dropping aftermath of this explosive leak. However, the big question is, will Bambi and Scrappy ever recover from this? Or is this the final nail in the coffin for their relationship and possibly even their careers? Now that we've peeled back the layers of this scandal, we want to hear your thoughts. If you thought this story was crazy, you definitely don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you have notifications turned on. If you think that confession was the ultimate betrayal, will Bambi ever be able to rebuild her reputation after this devastating breakdown? And will Scrappy be able to find his way back into the spotlight? Or is this the end of the road for him as well? What do you think about the love and hip-hop drama? It's the last chapter of this explosive saga? Or are there even bigger twists ahead? You won't find these behind-the-scenes scoops and exposes anywhere else, so why not hit the subscribe button and join the conversation? I promise you'll want to be updated as this drama develops, and this is just the beginning. Stay tuned for more shocking revelations and updates soon. Let's keep it real. Dramatic mimetic.